Okay, so like I said, I want to take you a little bit around my space to just kind of let you know how I've organized my home daycare. And one of the things that is really, really important is to have your areas that the children can work in. One of the things that is not a good idea is to have them bunched up because they will fight, they will argue, and they need their own space. They need to be able to work. They need to be able um, to create, and that is what it's all about. And so, like I said, I've organized my space into kind of a little small school-like setting, and I do have a place where we do um, sort of a circle time, and we dress our frog and talk about the weather and sing songs, and we do counting and things like that. And I also have a space where I measure them because they're always talking about how tall they're getting, and I'm always talking about how tall they're getting, and so that's kind of a lot of fun. Over here, I do have a science area, and the science area, um, I do a lot of charts and things. We talk about the weather. I have drawers there um, that have kaleidoscope in them, color tiles, things like that. I also have a bigger space, which is, uh, we talked a little bit about art, and the kids did a really great finger painting, working together, learning together. And I love that. I keep that up no matter what they do, and they love it as well. I also have a what I call my pretend zone. That is probably my biggest area, and it has a CD player and CDs. It has cash register and instruments, and I have dolls of all races and cultures, and of course the stove and all types of food and things, and a space for them to sit. And I also have an area where they can pull things off and dress up. It's very important to teach the children independence. And so when they want to dress up and they can take them off themselves, put those things on, the hats and such. And if you notice, I have a big mirror. The mirror is really a big thing. Uh, Infants, toddlers, preschoolers, school age kids, everyone, they love to look at themselves. And it's good when they can look at themselves and they see that they've put on some of the dress up things and just, making faces, teaching them happy, sad, all those types of things are really, really important. And so this is a big area, the pretend zone. And I'm also going to walk you over here to my block zone. And I have a shelf here with lots of blocks. We have blocks on the top shelf that we've created ourselves out of just different boxes, cereal boxes, delivery boxes, things like that, in all different sizes. And the children love making those. And they don't have to be anything um, huge, they don't have to be fancy because the children love to play with them too. I also have the regular blocks, the wooden blocks, and I have the very sturdy cardboard boxes that kind of make the appearance of bricks. And I have the very soft blocks for my little ones, and then I have some other smaller plastic blocks on the shelves. I also have cars and different signs um, that the children like to play with as well. And so they may take those cars and uh, bring them out. I have a rug that is shows a road and a school and everything, and so they love to play with that as well. I also have people. Um, you may see, if you can see, people in wheelchair, somebody who's blind. I have that. I have animals, and I have families as well. That you can see. So I have these here, and then somebody in a walker, and these are all very teachable moments that will help when the children are learning. Now I'm going to take you over here to my space. It's privacy, please. And only 2 children are allowed in this space. Now, being that you have a little bit more children this time, you may want to allow maybe another child, maybe 3, depending on your space. Um, and I have all types of books that represent the different cultures and counting and all types of things you want to have in your space. And you can see those little yellow books over there. The children created those themselves. And that was a big project for them. They loved it. They got to cut out things. And so what we did was, it's called My ABC book. And they cut the pictures of different things that start with A, things that start with B. And I also have the canvas bags that have a lot of things that children can just go and pull out themselves when they want to play with things. And I have puzzles and other blocks and things like that. I have a little smaller table with a scale on it. The children love the scale, and so I just sit it out. And so there's 2 seats here, and so 2 children can play. Like I said, you may be having more children now, and so you may want to put a couple more seats there. You may want to sit something else out so that the children can play with it. I also have a chalkboard. The children love to play on the chalkboard. They love to write and pretend, and so you'll want to organize that space as well. And then I have another privacy area where the children can go. And if you can see, I have the different faces: happy, sad, mad, and all that, and angry. And so we talk a lot a bit about that. How do you feel today? And then if someone has gotten themselves into a bit of a trouble, then we can talk about that, and they can actually point to and let me know how they're feeling. And so that is a really good thing. All right, I want to take you out here. Now, when the children come in, they have their own cubbies, and you want to make sure they have their cubbies, because that is their space, and they can put their coats there, any change of clothes, anything like that. You may have it set up a little bit differently, and that's fine too. I don't have as many children as maybe some of you have. This is a 10. This holds 10, the 10 cubbies, and so that's fine. That may be something you need with the increase of the children. And I have my stackable trays there, which is really great when the children are. I couldn't fit all of the high chairs in my kitchen, so I had to get something else that was a little bit more convenient and conducive to my space, and that worked out really well. And I have their little table here where a lot of times when they come in, they really don't know what to do, like in the morning or whenever they're coming in, school-age children. And so you want to kind of give them something to do, and you want to have it laid out. So you're not telling them what to do, but you're laying them out, and then they're going to automatically go to it. And it kind of keeps your area and the time that they're spending, they're doing something constructive. Because if they have time to waste a lot of times, or if they're not doing something they're supposed to, that they should be doing, that they're going to get into trouble. And so we don't want that to happen. I'm going to take you down the hall here to my bathroom, and it's nothing perfect. It's a space that has the trash can, the handless this trash can. You have to put your foot on it in order to throw things away. It is also like a diaper pail. And then, of course, you have the step stool, because some can't reach the steps. And then the toilet, where I always keep it down, the lid. Okay. And then I have my sign, wash your hands sign here, which is very, very important. And you can go through those steps with them of washing hands. And also I have If you'll notice, I have a rancher, and so everything is on one level. When the kids come back here, you don't want them playing with the boiler and things like that. And so you want to have something that is going to uh, keep them from your little ones from touching those things. I did have a door there. Once I got my new boiler, I had to take that out for inspection purposes. But the door is going to be replaced back there. Okay. So that is my space. And you also, your kitchen area where you're cooking, you want to keep that clean. That's very important. Wipe those areas down. A lot of times food can be and will be left there. And so you want to kind of make sure that you don't do that. I also have my technology area. You're going to have children who uh, need to work on technology. They are now working remotely from home or from your childcare, and so you want to make sure you have those things available to them. Now, you can't get those things, and so I just utilize the grants a lot of times that I get or I save up for it, um, and it really helps. And I have a lot of what you see is a lot of books. I am very big on teaching the children uh, to read. I'm very big on exposing them to reading. And if you'll notice, in a lot of my areas, I have books. In my pretend zone, I have books. In my block zone, I have books. Even in my privacy areas, I have books. And so, even if a child needs to take some time to gather themselves, um, they have something to do while they are in those spaces and they are calming down, or they are just um, in those spaces because sometimes children don't want to they don't want to be in a space right now or be with other children right now, and so that gives them time to do that. Right, so at some point we'll talk about lesson planning and curriculum development, teacher guides, and it's very important to not only organize your space but also to um, know what you're going to do that day, particularly if you have now accepted more children in your space. And so everybody needs something to do. School age children, preschoolers, toddlers, and even your infants. Um, they love to have something to do as well, something very stimulating. So I'm going to end this and I'll be back and we'll talk a little bit more, like I said, about lesson planning and curriculum. Right now, I just wanted to kind of give you some ideas on how to set up your space. So I will talk to you soon.